we want to take on talking about schedule planning. With schedule planning, it's necessary to identify, really what does and doesn't work with your system. Okay. Once you identify what does work and doesn't work, then you can define how far out you would like to have assignments filled. And then you're talking about time blocks, for short, medium, or long range. And James, we were talking about this the other day. Can you elaborate on the use of time blocks a little bit more, please?
Yes. I recently did an agency out in Colorado. They do their overtime in 3 different segments. The first segment they do is they do their extended segment. Basically, they'll send out an email, hey, we got this day open, up to 6 months away from the date of phone call or date of email. And it pretty much has an open timeline. If they want to sign up for it, they can. If they want to ignore it, they can. Whatever the employee wants. That goes from like the 90-day to 6-month period out from the date of being called. Now, the medium-term one that we use is from 2 weeks out to that 90-day mark. So you have to imagine 3 different blocks marching down the calendar as each day goes on. And so the medium one basically gives the candidate 15 minutes to make a decision if they want it, contact their significant other, accept, deny, reject, whatever their choice. The short term we use is from 24 hours out to 2 weeks. Basically, it gives them 10 minutes. Hey, we need this filled. You want to work it? The same premise. We also built for them an emergency scorched the earth list. That's where they have an emergency call out at 5 o'clock in the morning. They can send out a mass text, just kind of blast the whole system. Hey, we need somebody to work today. Can you do it? Please help, call. So that's how we set up a multi-term scheduling planning.
Thank you. And in reality, that's a good way. Again, you have to define those things first and then figure out how you're going to use it. And so, those time blocks are very, very important. What's your return on your investment? I mean, the whole point is, why would I want to automate, right? And as we can say, oh, everybody wants to do automation, but really, if you have a goal of a fully automated system, and that's, you may not be able to get there right away or whatever, that could just be a phase goal, but a goal is for the system to run autonomously in the background and only need to be checked on it daily. That's really what we're talking about. And it's hard to determine the ROI in particular, but generally speaking, full automation should give you an extra probably 2 to 3 hours per day, depending on the size of your department. So if you have a team, it would be a lot more than that because there's more people. We're not talking about all the other things that you gain, like less questions and all that kind of stuff. But if you have a department of like 40 or 50, you probably, one person will see a relief, quite a bit in that. So larger organizations of 1,000 may be a team gaining time back as well. And again, James, I hate picking on you, but I know we were talking about this the other day. You had some experience with this just recently, on how much maybe some people were saving, in that situation as well. Can you share just a second on that?
Yes, of course it all depends and varies on your departmental size. The department that I currently work with, we have roughly 100 members, and we have the person that actually spends 8 hours a day doing these schedules that, they don't use TeleStaff. I'm trying to get them to convert. But if they did, my old department, we use TeleStaff, and we didn't have to have anybody doing it because we have it fully automated. Everything ran. All the battalions have to do is come in the morning, look, okay, I got these openings that are due up, that need filled, whatever. Go about his day, do his business, do his rounds, check on all of his crews, come back in at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Look, hey, everything's filled. I don't have to worry about mandatorying people. And then even if there is opening, all they have to do is usually 1 or 2, make a phone call, mandatory that person, much to their chagrin. And, he plugs the person in the spot, and that's it. And so he's roughly taking from 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, to 30 minutes a day.
Thank you for the example, and thanks again for serving in that way, like as you're doing. I just really appreciate that. You know, this automation, again, you may not get to the full automation, but you can get closer.